within Amazon, that's known as the Tom team.
Mhm.
And the main two roles at Tom team, you're either going to be uh, in a hostler, which is just a sort of miniature truck where you hook up to trailers and move the trailers all around the yard. That'll be most of your job. And then there's also a portion where when I was ship clerk, I would be on the radio with Tom team, just sort of organizing trailer movements and whatnot. So when I went over to Tom team, I was then on the other side of that radio conversation. So, and it was fun. And it's actually being a ship clerk is like the greatest possible thing you can do before moving to Tom team because
Okay.
it means they don't have to, all they have to do is train you on how to drive the truck.
Hmm.
They don't need to train you on the ship, on the guard shack, on how to actually do the logistics portion of it because you already learn it when you're ship clerk.
Okay.
You're just on the other side of the radio conversation. So that was the easiest part of the job for me, just checking in drivers because I've already had that conversation so many times with Tom team. Like, hey, this driver is here. Where do you want him? Or this driver has this. He doesn't have merchandise. He actually just has plastic pallets, or he has tape or shrink wrap. Where do you want this stuff?
Hmm.
So then having to deal with that as a ship clerk gave me the experience I needed to be able to handle it with Tom team.
Wow.
So all I really had to do was learn how to drive the truck, and to me that was so much fun. Like I got to Tom team. I really just did it because I didn't want to be in the building anymore. Because I mean, who does?
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
even if you like even if you like the job, I mean, who wants to be in the building all day?
Yeah.
I'd rather be outside.
Yeah.
So when I when I first had to learn how to drive the truck and move the trailers, it was really intimidating because I thought, I mean, I've never done this before. I've barely driven a U-Haul before,
Yeah.
and now I got to move these giant trailers without hitting anything, without hitting another trailer, without tipping the thing over on the side because I know I'm going to do that in the first week. But honestly, it was so much fun. Like just learning the basics. They bring you out into a wide open part of the yard where you can't possibly hit anything, and they just let you drive it around. They let you figure out like when you turn the wheel this many times, how does it affect the trailer?
Mhm.
When you're backing up and you do this, how does the trailer move? Because it always moves the other way, like it
Mhm.
moves the opposite.
Mhm.
And they gave me a whole. I mean, they gave me 2 weeks. I only needed one, but and most people only need one. But they give you 2 weeks to figure out how to actually control the trailers.
Okay.
And so, and you have all this wide open space. And my trainer was great, uh, Chris Newton at Jax Nine. If you happen to be over at Jax Nine and you get Chris Newton, you're in good hands. He
Right.
was phenomenal. He just kind of at first he just kind of let me do my thing. So he
Big
just
shout out.
said,
Big shout out to Chris. Well done.
yeah.
Good job.
So he just kind of let me do my thing. He said, well, just try to get into spot 555 but don't actually make corrections. Let's just see where you end up.
Mhm.
And so and that worked perfectly with my mind
Mhm.
because then I would just try to aim for, say, spot 555, and I would end up in spot 557, like way off. But
Mhm.
that would teach me that what I'm doing works to get 2 spots away from what I need. So if I just go 2 spots forward and repeat what I just did, it's going to work.
Right.
And that worked great with my mind. And so I was able to pick it up quickly. And then, you have to approach spots from the left and the right. So then I would do it the other way and say, he would just go aim for 555. Let's just see where you end up. And it was the same. And after a while, you start to really get good at controlling the trailers and you start to be able to do tricks
Wow.
where like you have to back this trailer up, but somebody left the cone over here, there's a driver over there, so you can't swing out too far, and you kind of figure out the strategy, and
Mhm.
you're like, okay, so I'm not going to take this the usual way. I'm going to go forward a little more, I'm going to straighten out, and then I'm going to back in like this. When I get to the cone, I'm going to cut, and it starts to be, it's like a puzzle. It's so much fun.
Wow. Wow. So
And it,
so that's a great position. So if you have a truck that coming in an Amazon warehouse, right? Let's say you have a UPS truck or let's say someone who's have their own trucking company. So once they get to the warehouse, so they are not the one who's driving those trailers, right? It's gonna be the Tom team.
yeah, once the trailer is in the yard, it's the members of Tom team who are going to move it around.
Okay.
So we'll move it from the parking space to an actual dock door. When it gets unloaded, now the trailer is empty. So if it happens to be an Amazon owned trailer, we have to move it from inbound to outbound.
Mm-hmm.
This way it can be loaded up again, especially in a sort center where trailers don't stay in the yard for more than 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything's just gone within 3 days, and the merchandise itself is gone that same day.
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely have to move. You're doing a lot of moves with in the sort center. So you're moving everything from dock door to dock door. Once it's loaded, you move it to a spot in the yard so that when the drivers do show up to pick up their loads,
Mm-hmm.
everything is right there for them. All they have to do is pull in, grab their load, and go.
Wow. That's good, actually. It's a great system. So Amazon is very independent. Once the truck arrives, now is Amazon internal team that's gonna handle it. And also it's much better because as Amazon team, we have more trainings. We are more trained on safety, how to operate stuff. That's make it, much better. But how do you deal with the weather condition when it's cold, when it's hot, uh,
Oh, I
when you're getting
mean,
your lunch breaks, all of that?
yeah. Well, the nice thing about Tom Team is, I mean, we sort of have to keep in mind the busier times of the inside of their shift,
Mm-hmm.
but we can kind of just take our lunch whenever. Like it's not really that big a deal. As long as you know, like it gets busy around this time of day, this time of night, so we should all be back by that time.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, you just kind of take it when you want to take it.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of everything else, like with the weather and whatnot, I mean, you're working outside. Just
Right,
you can't, what can you do? You can't complain about it.
right.
So I mean, I live in Florida, so it's always either very hot or raining. So, but I mean, it's part of the job. I bring a raincoat with me every day, especially in the summertime, because you can definitely expect that it's going to rain basically at some point for at least an hour every day. And then when you don't have the raincoat on, you're going to be hot. So bring some sunscreen, make sure you don't get sunburned.
Nice.
But it is just, to me, it's not something you got to worry about what you can control.
Yes.
And I cannot control the weather. So it's like the last thing I'll ever complain about.
Right. Right. Still a good thing. You're outside getting fresh air, like you
Yeah.
said, you're not inside the building, still good. So you talked about Amazon career choice, right? For people inside working at Amazon who want to apply for career choice, can you explain a little bit about it and how they can use it to get a certificate or get a degree within Amazon?
Yeah, sure thing. So once you've been an employee at Amazon for at least 12 months, you can get on AmazonCareerChoice.com and you can see, once you log in with your Amazon information, you can see all of the available schools that they are working with. And that's not only just colleges, it's also training programs. Like in my case, I use the training program since I've already got a degree. I didn't really need another one.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wanted to pursue a degree, you can pursue your associate's degree and then use those credits to go ahead and get a bachelor's in the future. And the great thing about it is it's not even like a reimbursement. Amazon just pays for it. So there's no money up front on your end. So you pick the class that you want to do. Like if maybe you want to get a CDL, maybe you're not, maybe you're not gonna get a degree at any point, but you want to be outside, you want to do something physical, so you get your CDL. Amazon will pay for your CDL. They'll put you in the school and you work full time, and then you just show up to your CDL classes, pass everything, and you have a Class A CDL. And you can use that to just get out of Amazon if you wanted to,
Right.
and go work for one of the companies that ships for Amazon.
Wow.
But I mean, if you, in my case, I wanted a data analytics certification, so I signed up for one. And if I hadn't gotten the opportunity with the Amazon Technical Academy, then my two plans at this point were to get my CDL and to, in the meantime, try to get a data analytics job. And if that didn't work out, I was just going to be a CDL driver.
Wow. Yeah, it's a great program to have your company pay for your school. And like you said, you can keep using that. Once you have your education, you can use it within Amazon or elsewhere. Just a great benefit.